Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset podcast. My name is Constant Brooks, and in this episode I talk about always in one of the years that most of the time you hear me talking about time, the importance of time and all those stuff. And what I'm this new work and how the pays goals and all those stuff and with the goal that I want to accomplish for this year. So ideally at the end of 2024, what I want to achieve this year. If I actually make it to the end of 2024. I have to stop thinking in certain times and then start to change the way I think about the times. So, like for example, now I'm an employee, and you learn all the perspectives of being an employee. But now I'm an employee in a big company with lots of moving parts. I'm just one person in a cog of many machines, and the thing about it is that I may seem important, but eventually, you know, it's a lot of moving parts. So it's like, yo, I'm just basically one person. And but through your perspective, I feel like a bit this very important person, but I'm just one person in the cog. So eventually, what this phase is that I'm using this phase now to just basically is this job is more actually fun, more responsibility, and more dangerous. And don't get me wrong, but use this opportunity to just basically upgrade my mindset from the employee mindset to a more business mindset. So where I'm thinking about. One thing about business, they talk about things in business like you have quarters. So you have quarterly goals and all those stuff. So if you want to, so eventually, if I'm going to think about if I'm going to move towards retirement, you don't want to be employed forever. You want to actually upgrade and go and do something that basically now will sustain you outside of the employee stuff, outside of the employee stuff. Because the thing about it is that a job would be good and all, but if you don't want to actually do it, be there, just receiving the paycheck forever. Worse with how the pay cycle go because when one thing about getting being an employee and getting the pay cycle is that one of the benefits is that you don't really have to do your taxes unless you reach a certain income level. I think where or if you think if you reach a certain income level, the tax will be removed automatically as well because your employee does basically automatically taking off a paycheck. I'm not sure if you do the income taxes payments manually where you have to actually go out and do it yourself. But as far as I know, I'm not at that threshold now where I'm just making no money where I'm basically being taxed where income tax is being removed. So one of the benefits of being an employee that I don't really have to worry about those tax situations. But that's a minor benefit. Yeah, minor benefit now when I think about long term. Just the fact that okay, I don't really have to worry about that. Make me do a job that's very dangerous for forever. Yeah, yeah. That doesn't really make sense. That doesn't really make sense. So it makes sense. I just go and do the job and use this work now as I'm just one person a cog to upgrade myself, solidify myself, but make moves outside of the work to basically progress myself. Where I be like, yo, make certain moves have quarterly goals, move to being the more entrepreneurial mindset, where ideally what I want is that when I'm able to just extend my time, use my time there wisely, and make all the progresses, I cannot say, yo, I'm making this move now, and I can make it comfortably, and, and don't look back. Don't look back. Eh, What I'm, what I mean is that, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It is that is the point where you're trying to upgrade to be from an employee, but now to being more business minded. Where say you want to start your own business. And the thing is, I also want to further my education as well. It's like it's one of those complex situations where one of those two moves will have to be in the process of being making this year. But which one more will be the right one? Because the thing is that if you start a business, you can't just basically up and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna chill and then just leave it and boom, you don't start off successful like that. The next thing again, the company that I'm working about, the person who created it created from 1833, bro. 1833. That's how old that company is. And the thing about it is that I said I'm just one person, a very complex moving part in a big company. It's a lot of years. So it's like it's a lot of years that that company has been relevant. And the thing about it is that that version of it, there are certain cogs I'm seeing from my perspective as no, I see it in my perspective when I just started, but eventually, as I go through the phases, I realize that because this company has been around so long, what I see as a cog, as a way they do things and stuff like that. I was very small minded in the sense of the way I'm assimilating the company and stuff like that. I, you know, look, they're going through years of iteration. It's like, by minuscule perspective was not was not enough to really compare to the type of work. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So it's like, I'm not um I'm not really this genius in the sense that, oh, I will do this different. But at the same time, boom, I don't want to. You don't ideally if you want to move. Oh, you have to upgrade. You have to upgrade. You have to do things to know upgrade. You cannot, as I said, you can't be out here working the job and say, yo, this gonna be my thing for the next couple years and stuff. Get a couple vacations and all those stuff. Get the car, house, and all those stuff. Ideally, I want to do certain things more, and I'm in the position now where I can do certain things more. So when I try to go after the opportunity of trying to do certain things more, if it feels, you feel at a higher level, and I feel at a higher level, and then you just learn from those experiences and then move forward. But the thing is that I'm actually at a higher level now, feeling I'm actually at a higher level now where this work is really something, bro. It's really nerve wracking and exciting at the same time. Really exciting, nerve wracking and excited every day because of how this work is. But at the same time, I have to really think about life after work. I want to do certain stuff as well. I want to be ID eventually, and I get my master's and PhD as well. You never know. But I'm not in that income level where I can actually afford it. I don't want to think about is that if you actually rely on other people to actually say, yeah, I'm going to support you and stuff like that, you may not actually do the PhD and masters you want. So ideally, what this work is just basically to learn about a big company, get the perspective of being in a big company with a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people assimilating. But at the same time, make you move to just basically progress yourself. So eventually, where you can work your way out of the company and be like, yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now where I can basically just retire, chill for 6 months, and just do some grinding to make the moves that I need to do. So that includes like saving me 6 months income and all those other stuff. So it's like, I so now basically what this episode is saying that I'm changing my view of time to be more business cycle. Cause what I realize is that eventually, no, my days feels a lot slower. My days, like I can't believe it's just looking at the date on this episode. It's just the 10th day of January. I recorded of this episode, bro. The 10th day, and that's how I actually felt at work. And be like, yo, that's how it feels. So it's like, oh my god. So it's like I always talk about the 9 to 5 is a hustle, and it always feel like forever. That's how it feels. That's how it feels, and you're doing a lot more hard work. Lot more hard work. So yeah, to do that for a year, bro. I don't know how I will do it, but I'll have to just push through. But yo, I have to make the progresses so I can actually upgrade from that employee level, bro. I have to try to make the progresses, bro. Cause yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. But it's better than where I was before. It's better than where I was before, so I can't complain. So that's basically it for this episode. Yeah, I'm actually gonna change my view of time to be more business like So I've tried to make quarterly goals to and see if I'm able to accomplish them, and then what will happen by the end of the quarter, the 2024 quarter. I will reach a lot of goals where I'll be like, okay, yeah, I can actually just make these moves now going to 2025, and that's how I'm gonna approach things now. That's how I'm gonna approach things now. Yeah, so that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.